Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back, all from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Pimlico kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. It's a graded stakes race for 3-year-old fillies. It's the Miss Preakness. Let's throw up the field. We're going 3/4 of a mile. The 7 Inject scratching out of this race. This one's going to run at Prairie Meadows on Saturday. It leaves us with a field of 8, but as you can see from the morning line, completely wide open. Abrogates, the number 1, is a stakes winner this year. She won the Purple Martin at Oaklawn, and she was one of a couple in here that was close to a fast pace in the 8 bells. Steve Asmussen wheeling her back on pretty short notice.
Yeah, coming right back on a couple weeks here, Dan. I think she's the horse to beat in this race. Her overall form is very good. That was a very tough race, the 8 bells down at Churchill last time. It's quick back for her, but she's the horse to beat.
And she was right in the thick of things after chasing that fast pace. She does not need the lead to win, as we see from the Timeform US pace projector. Maybe she can trip out just behind the speeds. Euphoric is very fast out of there. We'll see how fast Prodigy Doll is, shipping back into the circuit from Mahoning Valley. Euphoric might be able to make the lead, and she certainly won't have to go as fast as she did in the 8 bells, I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think so either, Dad. She went a pretty wicked pace last time, got very tired in the stretch. I think she will make the lead in here, and she shouldn't have to go that fast.
I agree with you that Abrogate's one of the main contenders, if not the outright horse to beat. Her race in the Purple Martin was very, very game when she pushed a fast pace 3 wide and in between horses and fended off Joyful Cadence's late kick. The 8 bells we mentioned was good. And just from a buyer speed figure standpoint, she's very, very consistent. I guess the only concern is the short turn back. But if it's good enough for Asmussen, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to question them wheeling her back into this race. I'd like to see more horses do it, to be honest with you. I just think she's the horse to beat in here, Dan. And I'm not saying that I think she's some kind of superstar. Her overall form is fine. I don't think she's, a great horse, but she's pretty good. And she ran fine in the 8 bells. I mean, that was a way tougher field than this one. She was relatively close to the fast pace. She was racing on all through the stretch, even though she never looked like she was going to win. If she just runs that race back, I think she could be tough in here.
Red Ghost, the number 2, is a dominating debut winner at Saratoga at 2. Wesley Ward, I talked to him earlier this morning. He said he wheeled her a little bit too quick back in the Untappable. She didn't run very well. They gave her plenty of time after that race. She certainly looked good and repaid the connection's patience. Let's watch that allowance effort at Keeneland. The seasonal debut for Red Ghost didn't break very sharp, but worked out a nice in-out trip under Johnny Velasquez. She's just going to blow by the leaders late and get taken in hand. Nice buyer improvement for her seasonal debut. Not sure what she was beating, but she earned a competitive figure, and she's another tactical horse that can adapt to the pace.
Right. I like that about her. I like this performance, too. That she did get a great trip in this race, but it was just nice to see her come back off the layoff with a strong performance like that. This is a way tougher field. I mean, she's going to have to improve again, in my opinion, to beat this field, but I like her. I thought she ran well there. Her career debut at Saratoga last year, I thought she ran really well that day.
Juror number 4 was stakes placed at Laurel last year at 2. And in her seasonal debut, she was bet down to odds on, and she didn't get the greatest trip. Let's watch Juror number 4, just held up in behind horses on the far turn. And she doesn't have a lot of early speed, so this is what could happen to a one-run closer. By the time she finally extricates herself from traffic in the stretch, this horse on the lead is long gone, but she runs a little bit into second.
Yeah, she does. She makes a nice run. I mean, obviously she lost all chance. And listen, she probably wasn't winning this race anyway, but she lost all chance in the upper stretch there. Pretty good finish, though, to get clear in second at the end. She'll improve. Will she improve enough to beat this field is the question.
Paradise Song is a daughter of Frosted and a half-sister to Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner Spun to Run. She has won 2 out of her last 3 races, including this effort. And Michael Trombetta described this race to me as a breakthrough performance. You see Julian Pimentel looking around, turning into the stretch. Paradise Song cruises past them and is geared down at the end. She beat a couple of minor next-out winners. She's got the pedigree. She still has upside. And this race showed that she can sit and finish.
Yeah, a big class test for her here. She's facing a way better field, but she's been really impressive, Dan. And both of her wins so far, I mean, her maiden win kind of looked a little bit like that one. Very confidently ridden, shaken up in the stretch and just ridden out I thought 2 starts back, and I don't want to make excuses for a horse who was 4-5 and got run down in the stretch. I thought she was way overconfidently ridden there. I'm not sure why her rider had to sit still and keep looking around, waiting for horses to come. When he finally rode her, it was too late. I think this horse is pretty good.
Street Loot, the number 5, was the champion 2-year-old filly of Maryland in 2020, deservedly so. She went 5 for 6 last year. She's 7 for 8 sprinting in her career. John Robb tried to stretch her out to the 1-turn mile last time out in the Beyond the Wire Stakes. It might have just been a little too far. Let's watch that effort from Street Loot. They weren't going fast up front, but it was a somewhat contested pace. Street Loot was just lacking pop in the stretch. This was a disappointing effort, but she's been freshened and she's been training well, and she gets a cutback to a distance she likes.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those things sort of point her out as a major contender in here. I think this is a tougher race, and her overall form is great. She shows up and she runs every time. To me, this is a way tougher race than any of her prior wins. So I'm interested to see how she stacks up against some better horses here, but she's going to run better than she ran in this race, Dan.
Prodigy Doll couldn't step with Street Loot last year at 2, but perhaps she's just simply a more mature individual right now. Her seasonal debut, boy, Ben Colebrook found a great spot for her at Mahoning Valley. And let's watch Prodigy Doll run away and hide. And when she wins by big margins.
That's true. The last 2 times she won, actually all 3 of her wins have been by blowouts, basically. I don't know, Dan. To me, this is simply a product of her finding the right field here. Never really had to work to make the lead. She's actually, even driven out in the stretch here. It's not like it was, to me anyway, the most impressive win in the world, and it didn't come back fast. I think she's in a very, very tough spot here.
Euphoric earned very competitive Beyer speed figures 2 and 3 starts back when getting loose on the lead at the fairgrounds. She earned her chance in the 8 bells. I think the combination of 7 furlongs, tougher company, and a very fast pace contributed to her demise. She's going to get weaker competition, arguably, here, cuts back in distance, and might get loose again. Euphoric, if she drifts a little bit off that 6-1, is somewhat of a curious pace play.
Yeah, because she is really fast, and the wins 2 and 3 back, even though she never faced a challenge either time, I thought that they were both visually impressive. So if she makes the early lead in here and doesn't get pressed, this is a horse who could be very, very tough to run down. I'll give her a pass for the 8 bells, Dan. She was absolutely no match for that field, but she did go a fast pace.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Miss Preakness. I like the lightly raced number 9, Joyful Cadence, a little bit. I think both of her dirt starts were good. Certainly her maiden win, where I'm not sure what she beat, but that's how you're supposed to beat a field that might be mediocre. You just run off the screen. And then the Purple Martin, tough spot first time against winners, hung out 4 wide, chasing that fast pace. You watch the head on, she kind of gets banged around by the horse that's 3 wide and in between on the turn. She tried. She was no match for Abrogate that day. Maybe she continues improvement. She should be, I think, a better price than Abrogate here.
I think she will be too. I have her in my mix as well. I think she's an interesting horse, and I like that she's drawn to the outside again in this race. Maybe she can sit a little bit of a trip. I put the 4 Paradise Song on top. I don't know if she's going to be the 10-1 that the morning line has her, but anything around there, I'll give her a go in this race. She's been very impressive.
I definitely want to use Paradise Song. I picked her 3rd at the price she could be off of that last race. You could argue the last race from Paradise Song, the most visually impressive last race of any of the horses in this field. 4, 1, 2, and 9 for Mike, 9, 2, 4, and 1 for me in the Grade 3 Miss Preakness, kicking off a pick 4 on Black-Eyed Susan Friday at the old Hilltop. Good luck.